Welcome to the new sound of online radio. Welcome to the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network.
'Cause you make me feel like I've been locked out of heaven.
A mix of today's hits and hard-to-find favorites, combined with the most entertaining and intriguing talk anywhere. This is your sound. This is the sound of Universal Broadcasting Network at UENradio.com.
We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. We're not gonna take it anymore. Just to try and make us.
Hey there, everyone, and good evening, America. This is your host, Alan Lissauer from Financial Sanity Now, and I've been gone for 2 weeks, and we're back with a live show tonight. Today, I have on with me special guests, Ariana Shokat, certified personal trainer, and everything else. And she's brought her friends from the Kaizen project to give our listeners a chance to talk about the amazing fundraising that they've been doing for Children's Hospital of Los Angeles, and thank you for coming. We also share this table right now with Nicole. I'm going to try to pronounce this name. Why don't you pronounce it? Mirzakhanian, who is a student at CSUN, who's been working on the Kaizen project as the chairman of the board of directors. Next, we have Arash Hashimi.
Yes.
All right.
You got it.
All right.
Perfect.
And he's also a student. He looks older, but he's a student working on the project. His role is head of marketing. So please help me in giving a warm welcome to each one of our guests as they represent an amazing cause. And we can't wait to share their story with you. But remember, everyone out there who is listening, this is not my show. This is not Ariana's show. It's not Nicole's show or even Arash's show. This is your show. Let me say that again. This is your show. Finally, a place for you to come, to complain, to be concerned, to get answers about consumer problems. We have no interest in politics here. We don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, a Libertarian, a Socialist. We don't care. We want to hear your story. We want to hear your consumer problems. We want to hear you get angry. We want to hear what makes you upset.
And slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad.
And we want you to get mad. We want to know what affects you. What are you interested in? Today, of course, we're going to do a special program for Kaizen and for the Children's Hospital. But we still want you to get mad. We want you to get mad that there's not enough given to charities, that there's not enough care for people who are ill, for people who don't have enough money when they have medical bills. So our first topic is we've brought these wonderful students on tonight because we want to highlight why they're working so hard to give away every bit of profit they make, unlike many charities that take a portion of the profit. They're giving it all away. Most college students don't have this type of mindset, and all their proceeds are donated to Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. And if that doesn't pull on your heartstrings, just wait till we get to their whole story. We go over how they got started. And lastly, we give you all the information you need to support the cause while you're listening to this show and after the show. So go to the FSN Instagram page, checking out the link to our bio to donate during the show. Our second topic, this is funny, topic 2. Anyway, after we hear from our guests, I'm going to tell you my story about medical debt and how my debts became so great that I started to work on how to, I want to say get rid of them, that's a good way to put it, but how to negotiate them so that they don't hurt people. Medical debts are very strange, and 1 in 4 Americans have medical debts that they can't pay. So I had to figure out how to get out of debt, how not to be a victim, the right questions to ask, who to ask them to, and so keep listening. There's a lot of information you can get on medical debt reconciliation services. Or call in if you have questions. Call in at 323-524-2599 or text us at 310-384-4352. All right, let me take a breath. When Ariana first told me about your class and what you're doing for the kids being treated at Children's Hospital and how much money you've raised, I needed to know more. Not only that, but our listeners need to know more. I feel very connected to this cause because I have actually 5 children, but I have a lot of children. The youngest 3, the oldest more than 30. But when they even have a cold, when they have a flu, no matter what, when I see a child sick, my heart breaks. And right. I know you guys have seen a lot worse than that. So if you don't mind, I'm going to ask you a few questions so that our listeners get a better perspective on what you as students do and directly how you raise your money. So I don't know who wants to go first, but I'm going to ask who wants to take this question?
I'll take it.
All right. What is the CSUN Kaizen project, and who is your team? Who's on your team?
So basically, CSUN Kaizen is a business that we created out of scratch. We were a class of, students at CSUN, and our professor said, let's make money, let's make a change. So we created this amazing business, CSUN Kaizen, and we decided to dedicate all the money towards Children's Hospital Los Angeles. So that's
what
how
does
that started.
Kaizen mean?
It's a Japanese term. It means to continuously improve.
Oh,
so
see, I didn't.
it's very.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Keep saying it. So it means continuously to improve.
Yes.
Okay.
Never ending.
Never ending, and the way it should be. And who's on your team?
We have all of we're just like a class of students at CSUN. I think about 25 people, and we just have multiple departments.
Are all 25 people working on this project?
Yeah, it's everybody in the class. So.
Okay, and you're the chairman.
Yes.
All right. Big position. So what are your core values? Do you
Okay,
wanna,
I'm going
take that?
to take that one.
Yeah, okay.
So when we started, everyone was on the same page that we would like to grow and improve on ourselves, but at the same time, give back to the people, give back to your local community, to whoever is pretty much in need. That's pretty much, honestly, that's how it should be, because without giving back and without helping others, and what's the point of it all? It's as simple as that.
I agree.
Yeah.
So
So that's pretty much how the first day of class, that's what we established, and everyone was on the same page, and we're like, this is what we want to do, and that's pretty much the value: grow as a person, give back to people in need.
So, and I know we all hear this: to give is to receive. Do you feel that that's working? I mean, it's a common thing that's said. Now, I believe it's true, but how do you guys feel about it?
Honestly, it's just like, it's satisfying to see that you're making a difference towards, children that just, they need the help, they need the money, they need the support. But personal gain, it's just satisfaction, like knowing you did something good. Mm-hmm. That's what, we are getting, so.
I think good things come to people who do that anyway. It's just
Right.
the way the world really works.
Right. It's just doing good, really. You don't lose anything as a person. It's I think this example been going around a lot. They say, what does a candle lose by lighting another? Nothing.
Nothing.
That's it. Nothing.
No.
So why not do it?
Keep the candle lit.
Exactly. Just light up someone else's world. It's as simple as that, really. Nothing complicated.
So, as chairman, did you organize people in teams? Did you organize them in leadership roles? Was that your job to do that?
Well, not beginning, no. It was basically a class decided to...
Okay, wait. Do we have a call?
I think we have a call. That looks like we have a
Okay,
call. So let's
yeah,
go ahead and bring our
it's
caller
awesome.
on live.
Excuse me. We'll talk to the hello caller.
Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Hello.
That sounds like a familiar voice to me. Is that Ash calling?
It definitely is. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you so much, Ash, for calling. Arash, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce Ash for all of our listeners.
Okay, so this is pretty much the person that puts everyone, guides everyone in class. This is our teacher in the class. His name is Ash Sobey. He's a entrepreneur himself, and he's just trying to, like we are, give back to the world by helping students to learn how to grow, earn money, and give back. Most importantly, just give back. And yeah, that's Ash Sobey.
Ash, this is Alan. We haven't met, but it would be my pleasure. Tell me a little bit how you decided to do this project, because it's a great project. Did you pick the hospital?
I actually grew up kind of financially struggling when going to high school, and even starting my university at CSUN was tremendously difficult for me, just because I never had enough money for me to feel secure enough to be able to do what I needed to do. And oftentimes I felt like there were other people out there that had privileges that I didn't have, and I was hoping that I could be in this country called America and this free land in a way that the playing field is level for everybody. So I was deciding that as a kid, I wanted to go on IRS.gov and read about our taxes. I wanted to miss out on the opportunity to go into a party, for example, but Google how to become a millionaire. How do I get myself and my family out of this financial situation that we're in? And I think that helped. And, I was hearing your guys' conversation before getting on here. You're right. It's a common theme to give back. Yeah. For me, it's personal, because going from being financially broke to becoming a quote-unquote multimillionaire at age 26 was tremendously satisfying.
That's pretty
But what was even more incredible to follow is that at age 27, they found a couple of what they called lesions at the time on my brain.
Oh.
At the time, they thought they were tumor brains, and they didn't know how to deal with them. The diagnosis changed between Cedars-Sinai and the UCLA half a dozen times. And even till this day, even though it's been a couple of years, I still don't have a solid diagnosis. That completely changed things for me. I became very successful by being greedy. I became very successful by just focusing on my personal gain. But I can assure you, today, I make a lot more money than I've ever made in my whole life, because I pick and choose the clients I want to serve. Because I realize that there's a much bigger picture to us than just doing business and a transaction. If I pick the right people, and if I put my best foot forward and try to do the right thing, I just wanted to give it a try. Because you're right. We all hear it. If you give, you actually get a lot more.
I
had nothing to lose, so I tried it, and I'm telling you,
it
works great.
It works. I'll tell a little story later about that, but it's your turn. And, I only wish you the best and beautiful health, and that there is nothing serious that's going to happen to you. You sound like a really good man, and you have some great team members here. How has it been going for the charity? Have you guys been doing well?
I would think so. When we started the class, we had a little bit of a skepticism from some of the people that were around us. How could you possibly have a class that you're not going to have any homework in? How could you possibly be successful if you don't even have standardized tests?
Yes.
How could you possibly be successful if there's not even a group presentation? And, we were supposed to not even make $1,000, but, we started with $30, $40. We started $100, $200, $500. Once we reached $1,000, by that time, our CEO at the time, Nicole, who's sitting there with you, she actually said, hey, what if we reach for $10,000? And we actually hit that goal around the 7th or 8th week of our class. And we decided as a class to increase that goal by another 50% to $15,000. I'm happy to say we're almost at the end of our semester, and we're standing strong at $21,000 and some change, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Right, guys? 21,000 some change?
That is amazing. And I know Nicole has plans to spend part of it. But not that.
Only
So-
one.
You know,
Louis
luckily
Vuitton.
for all of
One
us,
trip.
the money directly goes to Children's Hospital of Los Angeles. They were so kind to support us and actually get behind this program. They gave us our own customized donations page on their own website. So
That's beautiful.
we're very, very, very thankful
Yeah.
to be working with them.
You know, you're a good professor because my first class in college was, we went in there and it was Western civilization. He said, okay, listen, what we're going to do is, you're going to write, I'm not going to give you the questions for the final of the midterm. And everyone thought, oh, this is great, you know, but you're going to write your own questions.
Right.
But he graded us on the questions. So if you ask a stupid question, you're going to
Amazing.
fail. And so we had to come up with these insane questions, right? And, you know,
Right. Very cool.
Teach people how to think is what's important in college. And what you're doing here is teaching them how to think. And I don't think anything's better than that. So
Thank you. I appreciate you saying. I'm 31 years old. I am a millennial, and to be totally honest, I don't call myself anything. I'm just a kid trying to have fun and trying to show people that you can be tremendously successful without being ruthless. You can be tremendously successful by just giving, and you can do the things that all of us in our hearts, we have it. We've just never been given the opportunity to do it. So I think it's working out really well, and I'm glad that you also hear the message and you're also responding to it just as well as you are.
we are. Thank you. Okay, well, thank you so much for calling in. And we'll keep up with your staff right
course.
now and keep the show going.
Thank you so
Okay.
much, Ash. That
Thanks,
message was
Ash.
beautiful.
And
You got it. Absolutely. Pleasure is mine. Thank you guys for being out there and doing good, amazing work as well. I think we just need more people like us who really have the right ideas, but we have to let go of our shyness. And we can't be reserved. We need to stand up and do what's right in the little short time we all have left.
That's right.
Thank you guys for what you're doing, and I hope you enjoy your evening.
Thank you.
You too.
Bye, Ash.
Absolutely. Bye-bye.
Big applause for Ash. there.
Well, I'm inspired.
Yeah.
Just
this
speaking
is
to
a
him, I
great
feel
guy.
inspired.
Yeah.
That's our every Monday.
Good for you guys. How exciting.
So let me go back to a few more questions so we can keep going. What made you choose Children's Hospital? I mean, there's so many charities. I know I give to St. Jude's and I give to some other charities. The one where you fix the lip, you know? Remember that?
yes,
Smile
yes.
Train. And they come and they say, fix one child and we'll never bother you again. Well, they keep bothering me. But I did fix one child. So what made you pick Children's Hospital?
It was a vote amongst everybody in class.
Okay.
We put it maybe to 3 days of work. Everyone went ahead and just voted, texted our professor, Ash. And next week, we chose Children's Hospital Los Angeles. And, that hospital has a lot of departments, and
Yes.
we decided to choose Heart Institute.
Okay.
So to donate it directly to the Heart Institute. So that was how it
So
came up.
Children's Hospital, they deal with other cancer, they deal with
Yeah,
heart,
multiple
they deal
departments.
with all these various.
Yeah, they have different departments for each, I guess you could say, organ. But honestly, that part was the hardest part for us because it was just like choosing. It was just like choose this or this. Like all of them are not good. You're trying to help in whatever way you
Yeah.
can, but it was like choose this one. It was very hard in that situation. It wasn't as easy as choosing CHLA itself.
No, I think it would
I can
be
imagine.
terrible.
Yeah,
Right.
it's like what do we do?
It would
We
be-
want to help everyone.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
So have you gone to the hospital and volunteered your time as well as the money? to be
Yes,
with the
yes, we
children?
have. Actually, a few of our classmates, we contacted one of their managers, Esperanza, and she was able to, formulate a beautiful tour with the whole entire, shebang and the team. We were
Yes.
able to walk everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
It was really nice. It's like Disney inspired. You almost don't feel like you're in a hospital. And later on, I noticed, I learned that Disney has been donating a lot and supporting the Children's Hospital. So it's just Disney inspired. It's really
So
nice.
you mean the decorations are
Decorations,
Disney, or
like you
whether-
walk in, it's like you feel like you're in Disney. It's very creative. It almost doesn't feel like a hospital to me when I
Right.
walked in. It was really nice.
The nurses aren't dressed like Minnie Mouse.
No.
Just want to be
Would have
sure.
been a nice touch.
Just okay, a little levity. But what I really want to get to is tell me about the experience, because I don't know if I could take it.
Yeah,
I mean, to go in and see a child that has a heart problem, what is that like?
It was the first time that I saw this one boy who actually walked in with cancer. Like, you can tell he's been going through therapy and chemotherapy and all that, and it was difficult to see. And obviously, as you went deeper and deeper into the hospital, we saw like this little girl with just a bunch of tubes being attached to a machine. Like, it was, you would think, like, why does a little girl have to face something that difficult and pain? Like, it was hard to see, but definitely motivated us way more when we left. So,
it's always a question I ask: why children have to have that pain? But I guess that's beyond our answering. What you're answering is how to help them in some way.
Right.
yeah.
Now, tell me, because we've done a thing on medical debt and the problems that people have paying. Is Children's Hospital free for people, or is it just like a regular hospital? You have to have insurance. How does it work?
No. So, as you know yourself, you will be in debt going to a hospital.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, it's becoming more of a business to
Absolutely.
earn money from the patients, which is, I think, is just
Sickening
not-
itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, it is.
And going through chemo, heart surgeries, and it can easily pass 100,000.
Oh,
And
easily.
Most of those parents don't have that kind of money. So,
No.
luckily and thankfully, Children's Hospital, for example, we're donating to the Heart Institute.
Right.
So it goes to those kids with those with the heart problems. So if they're unable to pay, they don't have insurance, it will pay for them. It will pay their treatments. They don't have to pay. It just helps them to have a second chance at life.
So, and this is just so I understand and people listening understand. If you go to this hospital, this is not a state or a city hospital, is that correct? It's private?
No, it is actually in the middle of the LA.
But I
it's
mean, is it
public.
supported by the city or the state?
I don't think so. I think it's
Okay.
mostly charity based.
So mainly it's charity
I
based,
believe
like
so.
Oh, yeah, but
endowments
as far
or
as
you
income
know,
comes in,
but it's a private hospital.
I believe
In
so.
that sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But
if
they're,
you
they're definitely dependent on donations.
Yeah.
A lot of donations.
okay,
is
so if
very
you don't have
helpful.
insurance, you're like,
Yeah, it's
not so good.
Yeah, I mean, for kids, I believe it's a children's hospital is mainly for kids, and
Yeah.
if they don't have insurance, they're taken care of.
They are anyway.
They are taken care
Okay.
of. So that's
good.
yeah. So suddenly paying $100,000 for parents and them seeing their kid going through that situation is this is something that will help them out.
No, absolutely. I
Right.
mean, if your child's sick and you have to spend time and you want to spend time in the
Right.
hospital, and now you're taking off from work, and now you can't do other things. I mean, it's emotionally draining.
Right.
So everything you're doing helps to support that effort.
Right.
I know there's certain what does California have? Medicare,
Medicaid.
Medi-Cal.
Medi-Cal, yeah.
And I think that takes care of a lot of things, but I don't know that it does take care of everyone.
Not everybody.
Medi-Cal,
No.
you
Not
know.
everybody. Not everybody.
I mean,
definitely.
if you may earn $50,000 or $60,000 a year, you're not eligible, and that's not a lot of money in Los Angeles.
No.
This program is being broadcast nationwide, so $50,000 or $60,000 is a lot of money in certain places, but
Here,
here
no.
it isn't, and it's very difficult.
You're almost living to paycheck to paycheck with that. Almost.
Pretty much, and look, I think what you guys are doing is great. Okay.
These are amazing.
So,
Appreciate that.
did you want to?
Oh no, I just wanted to see what kind of events have you guys hosted that help you guys keep raising money. I think that's our next big question.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, so we basically have created partnerships with cafes, restaurants. Thank you to BJ's, Pizza Rev, Porto's, and
The Stand.
The Stand. We had 2 events with them. It was amazing. They created a whole private event for us. It was a breakfast on Saturday, and we sold tickets. Had people join in for a nice breakfast and donated to an amazing cause. So.
I wish I knew about it. I would have been. No, I would have.
It was a great time. Eat and help out.
Right?
What could you ask for?
Yeah.
If I'm eating anyway.
Exactly
right?
So,
Might as well.
do you still have events going on that people can go to? If so, I'd like you to talk about them.
Yeah.
Are there more events between now and the end of the semester?
So far, we know there's one going on, which my department is putting together, which is right now, actually. What time is it? So
5:30 right now.
So yeah, I think they already did it, unfortunately. But so they decided to go to Porto's and buy pastries and go selling it around CSUN and just earn, just put a little bit of profit on it and just throw all that in the donations, which is honestly Porto's.
Why not?
I'm missing something.
Obviously, that's not at CSUN, so yeah, I would be lining up myself.
Exactly. If I was there, I would be like buying 10 right
Deliver,
now.
right? Delivery to class.
Are there any other events you're going to be having that we can publicize right now? Between now and the semester's over pretty soon, right?
It's we have one more week, unfortunately.
finals.
I know, and it's finals,
It's
right?
Unfortunately not
I know.
that we know, unless some of our teammates have come up with many.
Okay.
Seriously, it's like everybody's working. Suddenly you hear, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I was like, whoa, you guys are amazing. Like, everyone's like putting in work. It's amazing to work with these. I can call them friends pretty much at this
You're
point.
your teammates.
Yeah.
They're your
Teammates,
teammates. Yeah.
Exactly. So, unfortunately, not right now, just because of finals.
Yeah, no, I wish we had gotten to them earlier.
Yeah.
And we could have publicized each event, like talked about it on every show.
There's an event.
event.
We're still grateful just being here. Like,
Yeah, thank you.
Right now.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, I think we've covered, once they raise the money, it's going to the children, and
Everything.
I think it's great. So on the money gets donated automatically to the Heart Institute, and it goes to help the kids. For anyone listening, you're helping children. Are there any pictures up for this? No,
Right.
but, I mean, it's horrifying. I mean, it's really breaks my heart to think about it. 70% of kids are admitted there don't have insurance, and
Yeah.
procedures are very expensive. So the funding goes directly to the kids, and maybe it even goes to buy them a toy or get them something to make them happy,
Right.
right? And so the donations from the CHLA page will be directly donated to the children. That's what I'm reading because that's what I've been told, and I believe that's true. Okay, so just a little bit. How has the experience, and I think you've answered part of this, you've been giving. Tell me, has your life changed?
As for me, honestly, I could easily say when I started this semester, I was someone else. I'm someone else now.
Yeah.
After 3 months, it's actually amazing. Like,
Right.
it has affected me so personally, just because as my family, it's always been give back. Like my grandfather, as I've said many times to my friends, he would always back in my country, Iran, he was a doctor. He would have a huge sign in the front saying, if you don't have money, pay with whatever you can, and if you can't, just come in, I'll give you a free checkup.
Yeah.
So it was always in my family, just do things for people, help people out, help people in need.
Oh, beautiful.
And this kind of
Really?
woke up that inner spirit.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, I'm just completely someone else. It's I don't know how to explain it. It's yeah.
Well,
like I think I'm a better person than I was 3 months ago, and yeah.
I'm sure that's true. I'm sure that's true. And yourself?
Yeah, and I couldn't agree more with what Arash said, but definitely with every single person in this class, I've created like a friendship and a bond because this was a team effort. Every single person in that class contributed. And I couldn't be more thankful to have worked with this amazing class. So it's been a really good experience, and I'm really glad I did, was involved in it and was part of it.
I think it's a great lesson, besides just giving, that when you do something for others, I'm going to explain something that happened to me, and just anecdotally. I ran a soup kitchen on Sundays down in the, what do they call that district now? There's so many homeless people downtown.
Skid Row?
Yeah, it's just the Skid Row area. And I was part of the Kabbalah Center. I don't know if you know about that, but I was running it as a charity for them. And I was kind of in the doldrums a little bit in my life. I had been hurt. There was a lot of things that were happening to me. Decided to take this on as a task. So every Sunday, and believe me, I love my Sundays. And I love going to the beach, and I love sleeping. But I said, I'm going to do this. And I had to do it, not just do it, but do it with respect for all those people that were homeless. And most people are afraid of homeless people. They don't want to go near them. They're dirty. They're crazy, everything.
Right.
But when you look them in the eye and you're giving them some food, you realize they're just people. And they're people that have fallen off. For whatever reasons, they've fallen out of the society. They've lost their money. They need meds. There's so many reasons. And they did this for 2 years. And it totally changed my life. By giving every Sunday, no matter what, my whole life improved. I mean,
Right.
Everything about it improved. I met my wife because I had gone through a bad divorce. Everything changed for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like everyone out there to know that find a place you can give and keep giving, like you say. Keep on giving. Give of your time, give of your money, and never stop, okay? So we want everyone, Ariana, would you give everyone the place for them to give?
Okay, if you follow us on Instagram, financialsanitynow.com, if you click in the link in our bio, we have their donation link live. I will also be providing a little bit more information. We'll be doing a little Q&A. Kaizen will give us all of their donation link pages. But if you visit their page at csunkaizen.squarespace.com, you can directly donate now.
Oh, thank you. Anything you guys would like to add at this time?
Definitely just following us on Instagram as well and keeping up to date with our accomplishments would be very helpful. It's at csun.kaizen. So that's another good way of supporting us.
And as for me, I just want to go off what you said.
go
I
ahead.
honestly think just giving, it's definitely one of the keys to having a happier life.
Yeah.
Definitely it's in there. And I think if people choose to give, help out, I think they'll be in such a better place for themselves and obviously for the community. It'll just creating a better world later on.
Yeah,
for your kids.
Absolutely. When you brought up your dad and how he treated medicine, most people don't know, especially people who are younger, that we didn't always have medical insurance in this country.
Mm-hmm.
And when we didn't, doctors used to treat people in their homes, and they do it for a nominal fee.
Right.
And then insurance came along, and everything changed about medicine. Medicine, I'm not going to advocate socialism or this or that. We're a big country with 330 million people.
Right.
But obviously the system's whack.
No, it's failing our people, to be
failing.
honest.
Yes.
And it's just become a business at this point.
That's
Keeping the
right.
sicker.
Right. It's like a multi-billion-dollar business at this point.
It
And
is.
they're sick.
They make more money off of you while you're sick
Right.
than
Of
when they
course.
do when you're healthy.
In China, now I don't know if they're still doing it because they've become more capitalist, but the Chinese model of health was you pay your doctor when you're healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So they keep you healthy.
Wow.
They give you the herbs. When you're sick, you don't pay.
We should practice that here.
We'd be a lot better off.
Yeah, I know, but we have a lot to change.
Yeah.
But things, we hear in the news and everyone's debating what do you do about health care and this and that, but the answers are more simple. The answer's right here in this room. about giving and starting to understand each other a little bit more.
Right. Be less selfish
know.
and be looking to others.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
You know,
just
it
a
would
little.
Be helpful.
Right.
Well, thank you guys. I admire what you're doing.
Thank you
Really
guys.
do.
Thank you guys for having us.
So you'll have to sit through the rest of the show. It's only another. It's very short.
Of course.
Yeah.
You know. And during this part, we're going to talk about medical debt and how it affects people. One of the reasons I can talk about this with some authority is because I had a lot of medical debt. I was hit by a car in 2006. I was a pedestrian. I'm walking across the street. You know, they say mainly accidents happen near where you live. I used to ski. I used to go down the rapids. I did all these things, but I never got hurt. I walked across the streets of Palvita Boulevard. Guy was on the phone. He hit me. I was like a bowling pin. So what happened is I went unconscious. I went into a small coma. I don't know how long, but I came out, but my leg was broken and my whole side was broken. And that not being bad enough, being on crutches and being in a diaper, I don't want to go into detail, it was horrible for 2 years. I could barely get around. But in the hospital, I got what's called MRSA. Do you know?
I
That is.
actually don't know.
MRSA is a infectious disease. They put you in a room, and there's the yellow stuff around you, and no one can come in or out because you can catch it very easily, but it's very hard to cure it, and it goes into the bones. Okay, I got it in the hospital, and about 2 years later, I was able to walk. But for 2 years, I was in a wheelchair. And I'm not saying this as a victim. I'm saying this because this happened. You know, people have a lot worse happen to them. At least I was back and walking, right? And I was able to move around. It was during that time I had all this debt. And I owned several homes that I started to work on what was my profession. I knew finance. I knew banking. I'd worked on Wall Street years ago. And I was able to figure out how to modify a home, how to get my payments lower, how to get my credit card payments lower, and how to deal with medical debt. Because even though I had insurance, the driver who hit me didn't.
Oh.
Do you know in California, well, he had it, but in California, you can drive with as little as $25,000 liability. So he didn't have much insurance, so now I'm stuck with all these medical bills and credit card bills and all these other things. And I had to take control of my life because it's tough at that point. So that's when I put my expertise down and I started to work on medical debt as one of the debts. And what I want to say about that is you can negotiate medical debts. Just because you get them doesn't mean you have to keep them, okay?
Yeah.
You can negotiate medical debts. Most of the hospitals get paid a lot of money, and then they give you a 20% of another $40,000. They've been paid a lot already, but there's a way to negotiate that down, and we've been able to do it. I'm going to give you some statistics, which I think you're going to find amazing. In Great Britain, in Canada, in where was that? In Israel, almost every other country, there are no bankruptcies due to medical debt. But in the United States, 646,000 people went bankrupt over medical debt. That means those families are pretty ruined for a while. Yeah. Many of them lost their homes. Many of them can't afford further medical care. It's 1 in 4 people have debts they can't pay for medical bills. And that's awful when you think about it. Let me give you some statistics. And it's some things that happen to people in the hospitals. So this guy, and I'll mention his name, Peter Dreyer, was getting a hospital charge, $56,000. This is for sure, okay? $4,300 for an anesthesiologist, $133,000 for an orthopedist. And all were in network, right? But
In network.
at the in the network when you have insurance. So, but a doctor came in when he was like, on morphine or whatever, and he was an assistant surgeon. He was not in the network. He billed him for $117,000. So he didn't even know that. Now, that happened to me in the hospital, where a doctor happened to come in who wasn't in my network. If they're in the network, you pay a lot less. So if he wasn't in the network, he looked at me, he said something or other I didn't understand, and sent me a bill afterwards for that. And I had told the hospital I only want people in network because that would be a lot less expensive. So I didn't pay the bill, and I argued about it. And I just want people out there to know that when you get hit with bills for people out of network who are taking care of you in the hospital and you don't even know about it, you don't have to pay those bills.
I did not know that.
You don't have to.
I did not know
But
that.
if you
could
don't
just
speak up,
negotiate.
you'll pay them.
That is really good to know.
Yeah.
So $117,000. What's even crazier is that in California, procedures cost 10 times more than they do in Arkansas. Now, I know no one wants to go to Arkansas. I get it. But when you're talking about a procedure that costs $5,400 and costs over $50,000 in California, there's something wrong with that. Okay, so I'm not giving you a solution to go to Arkansas or
Right.
where
No.
else. But no, there are people that will travel to Mexico for cancer treatments. They'll go to Costa Rica. We charge more for medical care than anywhere else. So what happens is you wind up with so many people in debt. Severe, it can be 54 times higher for a procedure here in California than anywhere else. You know, my joke about the surgeon, you see a new surgeon, you go in there, the guy just got out of med school with $250,000 in student debt, and he sees you and goes, okay, what can I take out? You know?
Right.
But I make that point, it's an insidious system. If these guys are so badly in debt, they have to make a lot more money.
Right.
You know, most surgeries in the United States are unnecessary. They're one of the most unnecessary things. So another thing I think people need to know about medical debt is they're not allowed to report it to collection agencies for 180 days. Now, that's to give you a chance to negotiate it and to negotiate it.
Yeah, negotiate it. Yeah.
Someone's signaling to me. But the reason I say this is many collection agencies will threaten you right away. You don't pay them in 30 days, 60 days, they start threatening. And as soon as they threaten you, I have to come up with the money. Otherwise, it'll be on my collection. On my collection, my FICO score will go down, my FICO score will go down. I'm not going to get a house, you know. And all this is true. So it's important to know the rules. And there are rules about everything, you know, knowledge is power, and there are rules about everything that we do. And I'm just hearing it 5 minutes. Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know the show went by so quickly. Okay.
You guys were so interesting.
It felt like 10 minutes.
I know, right?
Okay, so what I want to say about medical debt in terms of our company, I've mentioned a few things that you need to know about medical debt. There's a lot more ways to negotiate down medical debt, a lot of ways to put it off. There are hardship cases. You can knock it off totally. But in order to do that, please call us or go to our website, okay? Because we can deal with your medical debts. And if we can't, we'll tell you. We'll say, no, you're stuck. But you won't be, okay? There's always something you can do. So we want to wrap it up tonight by saying thank you to all our listeners live and those who are catching the recording later. We do appreciate you spending the evening with us tonight. Ariana, do you want to say anything?
You know what? I just want to say thank you so much for you guys coming on. It's been an amazing opportunity to hear from you guys and to get more in touch with this story. I really appreciated Nicole's tidbits of the children and her reactions. I think that really pulled on my heartstrings, especially because I was just picturing that. So thank you guys for being so open and honest with us. And then also, I want everyone who can tonight just to think of this. If you were faced in a situation where your son or daughter was the one facing heart disease, you'd want to be screaming from the top of your lungs on every rooftop how important this is and how affected you are by it. And just because it's not your problem now doesn't mean that one day it might be. So just to think of that. I want to just quickly wrap up and give you guys some more information on how to donate.
Thank you.
If you go ahead and check out their Instagram, search at csun.kaizen, like Nicole said before, you can go ahead and contact them, ask them about places to donate. I will give you the donation link next, but if you also have more questions on them, you can search them up on their LinkedIn. That's LinkedIn, and you're going to search the CSUN Kaizen page as well. And then lastly, the donation and their website is csunkaizen.squarespace.com, and go ahead and you can check that out and make a direct donation. And lastly, if you go to the link, like I said again, on FSN's bio on our Instagram, you can go ahead and check out the donation link, but here it is again. And I'm loving that we have all these pages up for you to take a check out, and go ahead and donate now, please.
Thank you so much, you guys. Thank you for having us.
And also, you can always call the studio, call UBN. They'll get us in touch with you and a way to donate.
Or call us directly. That's even better.
Yes.
And we'll get you right in touch with them.
So I think we have 2 minutes. I'm just going to say this. Next Wednesday, we're going to take on the Consumer Federal Protection Agency, which our dear president is trying to dismantle. But we need it. We need it for consumers. So listen to our show. We're going to tell you how to get in touch politically to keep the agency, what they've done, how we've worked with them. There are also other protection agencies for you. So don't forget to tune in. As a special promotion for our UBN listeners, we're offering a free credit analysis. It means we'll look over your report. We'll tell you what you need to do, how to get your FICO score higher. And it's free. So just text us at FSN on UBN and say free credit analysis. Everyone needs to keep in touch with their credit. I know it's annoying, but you have to do it. You're going to buy a car, you're going to buy a house, you need a FICO score. Sorry, guys, okay? Additionally, you know, we offer credit repair, credit card consolidation, interest rate negotiations, credit card reductions. I'm going fast, okay? Mortgage rate reductions and medical debt reductions. These are some of the many services we have. So check us out at financialsanitynow.com. Check out our YouTube page. Check out our Yelp page. If you have time, just keep doing it. Just keep checking us out.
Just keep
okay?
checking us out
You know,
everywhere.
but you'll find that what we do is both important for you to keep your financial sanity, and we want you to keep getting angry. Because if you're not angry and you don't put it out there, then it's not going to happen for you. So get angry, and remember, we're not going to take it anymore.